Writer and director Taylor Sheridan seems like he's on a one-man mission to keep American fiction alive. While a lot of the cultural conversation about TV and movies is about how old franchises are being mismanaged, Sheridan is actually out there creating new things. He wrote Sicario and its sequel. He's apparently signed up for a Call of Duty movie. He created Tulsa King. He's probably most famous for Yellowstone and its various spin-offs. Hell or High Water is kind of in the same genre as Yellowstone, a modern western exploring what's happened to the descendants of the men and women who settled the American West, specifically Texas for this movie. For the 2010s, this is kind of an unusual movie as it deals with groups that were somewhat unpopular in that decade. White people, poor people, people who vote conservative. We open with a bank robbery. There are two robbers. One of them is somewhat aggressive, while the other just wants to get the job done and shows some concern about the behaviour of his partner. After completing the first robbery, they immediately move on to do another. We find out the robbers are brothers. Their mother has recently died, and they need money to keep the family home, on which oil has been found. In fact, they're stealing from the very bank they owe the debt to, and intend to pay the bank back with their own money and secure the financial future of their family. Where there are robbers, there are cops, which in this case are the Texas Rangers, played by Jeff Bridges and Gil Birmingham. The movie follows both pairs of characters pretty much equally. We find out who these characters are, what motivates them, and the viewer is invited to sympathise with both sides of the fight equally. Not to agree with them necessarily, but the film treats the viewer with a lot of respect, in that by the end, you're left understanding all sides. We're maybe supposed to see Chris Pine as the family man fighting for the future of his kids, but he does questionable things sometimes. Similarly, Ben Foster, as his freshly out of prison brother, is clearly much less stable and more violent, but sometimes the bad things he does are to support his brother's and nephew's ambitions. It's similar with the cops. Jeff Bridges' character, both determined to do his job and to make fun of his Native American colleague, is maybe a bit too subtle for many modern viewers. This is a story that proposes the idea that people can do and say good and bad things, and that's just a feature of the human condition that we all have to live with. What really deepens the movie, and specifically the characters, is how it places them in a wider social context, helping you understand why they're doing what they're doing. Visually, Hell or High Water is sometimes a bit reminiscent of Breaking Bad or True Detective Season 1. There's lots of lingering shots of the landscape to establish this sense of desolation and emptiness. The movie builds on this by not just using these long shots to show natural landscape, but also for explaining a sense of urban decay. The endless signs that say things like closing down, for sale, fast cash when you need it. All the signs of businesses that move into areas when that area collapses economically. As well as visually, this sense of decay gets reinforced by the characters, both major and minor. Chris Pine talks of poverty as a disease and how he wants his children to escape it. There's the Comanche poker player in the casino, the elderly waitress who angrily reminisces about uncooperative customers, the old man in the diner who says bank robbery hasn't been a valid career option since his grandfather's time. Everyone seems aware that their best days are behind them, maybe in a personal sense, but definitely as a society. The pioneer spirit is over. Jeff Bridges does this great speech about how the settlers took the land from the natives, and now it's being taken from their descendants. In fact, there are loads of great speeches, loads of great dialogue. Lord of Nothing, the wrong end of a short rope. I never met nobody got away with anything ever. The whole movie is a great example, a great distillation of the crisis of confidence the West is having since the 2000s. I don't want to oversell it. On occasion, the folksy West Texas thing gets pushed a little bit too far, but this is a movie of the kind of quality you could see every month in the 90s and is pretty rare now. It's well worth checking out. Thanks for watching.